So party like it's 99. I need to drink before the end of time. Grab a seat, bring all your friends to meet. We're gonna shake our stuff before the world goes snuff.
Yeah. When the calendar flips, will the world flip too? If it's the last time that I'm breathing, then I hope it's with you. So come on over, we can pop a drink or maybe 3. If it seems insane, well then we're feeling the same. If nothing happens by the morning, I'm still glad you came. Cause either way we'll see some fireworks and flames. Depressed or stressed, it don't matter to me. I'm just possessed by this feeling in me. Rain or shine, can't define how we feel tonight. Cause it's 1, 2, 3, I'm feeling fine. And we're wild and free in 99.
So party like it's 99. I need to drink before the end of time. Grab a seat, bring all your friends to me. We're gonna shake our stuff before the world goes snuff. So party like it's 99. I need to drink before the end of time. Grab a seat, bring all your friends to me. We're gonna shake our stuff before the world goes snuff.
All right, kids. So what have we learned today?
Well, Mr. Stuff, we learned that hip-hop is straight gas!
Get on back, throw back on the radio, chilling with some hatchback snacks, but we laying low. Tossing out the M&M's, takes you feminine. Give me that old-fashioned adrenaline. Picking up the speed, I'm a fiend, but we looking clean. Set the scene, feeling mean. Tell me where the fuck you been? Meet up at your crib, we making bids. 2 years old, calling dibs on rainbow bibs. I'm sold.
Room to the room, feed me the aeroplane. Eat it up real good, I'm about to make some gains. Create play dates, can't wait, they're great. I'm pulling on your hair, about to make it straight. Where the cabinet set, need some mix and stat. Drink the blue, the spicy brew, I need a sip. Gusto down and go to town to leave a drip. Here comes mom, she's off the phone, it's time to dip.
I'm breaking down doors, don't need no play this. We out here even in scores, no we ain't calling quits. I'm an animal, nah, we kill like Hannibal, nah. We eat you up like you prey, call me a cannibal, huh?
There ain't no pacifier that can pacify us. Ain't no swaddle of silk that beats a bottle of milk. I'm not a maniac, just a little zany. In fact, I'm just a baby that hates when he disobeys me. So right.
Pull out the crib, I'm the kid who can make a mess with the cookie lid. Make it skip, but I won't confess. Taking up a little bit, ain't no telling what I did. Doesn't really matter when they know that I'm a little bit.
Time to take a nap, it's a trap, I won't be silenced. Dad is gonna snap, so I attack with no compliance. Wanna lay me down to sleep, think he's got me counting sheep. 60 minutes later, got him crying even more than me.
We bring the goo to the gaga. We bring boo-hoo to the wow-wow. Big brat,
Rugrat,
graffiti, splat splat. Finger painting on the floor, call us Rugrats.
A to the B, but you can't see
that we bring the G to the OG.
Tune Disney up on the TV.
Space Jam, TVD, Blues Clues, Sesame. I throw up and down, I'm through every room, and I can't help it all cause I'm a little blue. And please pardon me for this rude intrusion, but what can I say, I'm just a little human.
Bottle pops were named after me, bro. So tell them pops we do what we say so. Your bottoms up, we'll drink for the day though. A little milk to help all your bones grow.
When I say goo goo, you say gaga goo goo.
Yeah, well, my Quest doesn't like me for some reason. I don't know why. I always keep it plugged in with this cable, but it refuses to charge unless the booster is plugged in as well now.
So my quest is dead at the moment, so we'll have to wait a little bit for it to charge, but... let's see.
The world is moving like it never has before. Since when has time felt
I guess I can work on the library for my mod while I wait for the quest to charge. I'm not gonna bother starting up the face tracking or anything today though. But why?
So tell your mama and tell your pops. Never stops. No time to hold back, so get on track. You don't let down, and you can take the crown. We're moving faster, and we can take. So get on board now, it's make or break. No time to slow down, no time to doubt. Don't wait around when you can take the crown.
Yippee! Programming. I should probably change the I should probably change stream category for a minute here.
I wish I had someone to tell me that every step is worth the climb.
Not Beat Saber.
Pushing through the struggle, that it's okay to take your time. But who am I kidding?
Yeah, software and game dev. Boop, ta-da. I have to wait for the quest to charge some before I can hop into Beat Saber. Because of course it hates me. Is there category for... Yes, education for YouTube maybe? I don't know. Alright. Currently, currently I've actually made some quite decent progress on the library here. I've actually gotten it to the point where it's not crashing anymore. I figured out some of the issues that were causing it to crash. But now the issue I'm having is when it goes to start up the browser process, it's starting multiple instances of the test program that I'm using to like develop and test it instead of opening a browser process within the program, so that's a little annoying, but I think that's kind of the main issue that it's having right now is trying to open up multi-process instead of single process. And this like example project that I found that I've kind of been going based off of some for developing this library. It has, I think it's in this section, or no, it's this section for the CEF settings. It has a setting for single process on that example project, which uses an older pre-compiled version of CEF Glue. But for some reason, this newest version of CEF Glue that I pulled and put into my library project here doesn't have a single process setting anymore. So I'm not sure how to get it to open browser process within the same program without opening more programs. Unless I can figure out a way of opening a secondary process from a DLL? Open up a whole separate process from a DLL instead of an exe. Then I could release the browser process DLL separate, but it has to be a DLL because I'm planning on releasing it for part of a Beat Saber mod, as well as just general Unity web rendering. But in order for it to be a Beat Saber mod, it can't be an exe, it has to be a DLL. So I need to know how to either launch a separate process from a DLL, or figure out how to run that process within the currently running program. And I can't do something like compiling the exe and then including it as an embedded resource in the library DLL and then extract and run it at runtime. Because extracting things, extracting embedded resources at runtime in Beat Saber modding is a huge no-no for multiple reasons. So it's not really a possibility for me to just compile the exe, include it as an embedded resource in the library, and then extract and run it at runtime. Because I can't extract it at runtime. So I've a couple possible options, but I'm not really sure how exactly to do either of them. Open up Unity here. So I actually have the test program up. So I just need to figure out how to get it to actually open up a CEF browser process instead of opening up more of the same game process. Because from the logs, it seems like it's just calling a command line command, and it's putting in the current, the kind of main startup process exe, and then arguments and Yeah, and then arguments for the browser process location and all of that, which of course that then ends up starting up more of the game process. If I put it into a Beat Saber library and make a Beat Saber mod that uses it, that would end up opening up more instances of Beat Saber instead of the actual browser process that needs to be opened to actually do the rendering and web rendering and all that. So I'm actually going to swap this to display capture. And just, why is that like too large? Make sure that's positioned properly. There we go. Now, if I come over to Unity, that should... Good. Okay. Yeah, so currently I compile the library and then import it into Unity, because that's kind of how it's like supposed to be released, I guess. Yeah, so that's kind of how it's gonna be released, is as a compiled DLL library that you just import into your Unity project, and then just simply add the Uni web render to whatever panel you want rendering it, and then you just ta-da, web renderer. I'm starting out with just rendering and nothing else, like no controls or anything, no interaction with it, just because that's where I started out with this library, and the reason I'm making it is just for rendering as rendering like OBS browser sources in a Unity game, which is what my Beat Saber library is going to be, is Beat Saber browser sources, which will use this library that I'm making to do web rendering, and I'm making it as a separate library that the mod uses so that other people can then also download my library for free and use it for their own web rendering in whatever other Unity game mod or Unity project. So, yeah, hold on, let's pull this up. Yeah, so if I run the test program currently, as it's working right now, if that's gonna start up, let's start it up over here. Okay. Can I drag that over or no? Actually, let me settings, player, resolution, maximized window. And just build that. I'll just build it as a windowed process instead of full screen, because I don't have any settings menu or anything to change it. Now, start you up. should be maximized window. Why are you... Huh? Okay, why...
Say it won't last. The bits keep flying and recounting the past. Everything we feared, everything we made, all wrapped up in one big charade. But here we are, still playing the game.
Do I have resize the window, maybe?
Yet everywhere people keep saying in the world.
If I did force single instance, then it would start up the other, then it would like fail to start up the other ones. Well, then I guess that could be harder to work on with it, like failing to start up other instances, because that could also cause the head instance to crash, I guess. It's probably best if I don't add that. Let me try and build again here. Okay, so it's still starting at full screen. Why are you still starting at full screen? God damn. Do I have to just go windowed? Just regular windowed instead of maximized window? For it to actually start up in windowed? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I mean, obviously a very simple test program. Not a lot to it, but I hit this. It then opens up. Ooh, things are getting laggy. It then opens up 5 more instances of the same thing instead of opening up a browser process. And I need to figure out why it's doing this. And then when I close down the kind of head instance that started up the others, since the others have started under it, takes a second for them to close, and then it only closes down 3 of those, and then I have to manually close down the other 2. Which then, if we go... where's the logs? There's logs. So this is the CEF log, which is honestly the log that's output by CEF process. So it is starting up a browser process in one of those others, but I need it to only start up the browser process and not a whole nother instance of the currently running program. I also have locale stuff set up so it can actually get the currently set locale, and then it sends that to CEF to load the right locale so everything is in the right language for you, which can be kind of nice for some stuff. So locale stuff is already built into it. That's fine. I mean, like, everything is fine. Like, everything here looks fine to me. Like, it seems to me like everything of the actual, like, CEF browser process is working. Things are starting out. Like, it, to me, it seems like it is working as it's supposed to. Which, right, yeah, I have to, if I want a cleaner log, I have to delete the log files because it appends logs to, if the file already exists, then it appends the logs to the end of it instead of replacing them. But then, if I open up the player log here, you know, regular Unity startup log. Yeah, these quits are from closing things down. Yeah, like there's really isn't much here, right? There's these couple errors from, you know, the end of closing things down because there isn't a proper CEF browser process to close down. And just memory stats and such, I guess, for closing it down. Is not much to the player log. Player previous log have anything? No, not really. If I delete those logs, then close you down, close you. I could probably close a bunch of those, but I mean, then if I go and start up another view, then open up the, that's not the right logs, yeah, so honestly here, start it up, everything's fine, nothing has happened yet. Start view. Doesn't create another log or anything. CEF. Oh boy. CEF starts up. And then we have, you know, again, another CEF log. Speed limit change. Yeah, so.
Hi unit. Corey Dankasta here. Hi.
Hi. Just trying to figure out why it's doing this. When I hit start browser, it's supposed to start a CEF browser process, but it starts up 5 more instances of the same program. A CEF process does start up because it creates this CEF log. But other than that, it's not doing anything. Just trying to figure out why it's doing this. So as well, if I close down the kind of head process that started up the other 5, takes a minute, but yeah, then it, oh boy, closes down to just, like, it closes down 3 of those that it started up, but 2 remain. Yeah, trying to figure out how to get it to actually open up just a CEF browser process instead of multiple more instances of the program that's trying to start it up. And I don't have too terribly much idea what I'm doing. And the example program that I found in the CEF settings here had a setting for single process, which would make CEF open up kind of as another thread within the same process that's running. But it uses an older precompiled version of CEF glue, which this newer version that I have included in my library doesn't have that setting anymore. I have no idea how to get it to open up the CEF browser process as a thread within the currently running program instead. Which is, well, when it was logging this before, but it's not logging this anymore either. It's literally just testing it. Literally testing and trying to figure it out yesterday. It was logging this, which process type is like kind of the first argument in the command line command that it's calling to try and start it up. And process type was being input as just the currently running program. Yeah, because like if I can compile this browser process to a DLL and start it up from that DLL instead of compiling it as an exe, that could work to start it up as a separate process. But I can't compile it to an exe to start it up from the exe because I need to be able to release it as a Beat Saber library for my Beat Saber mod. And Beat Saber libraries have to be DLLs. So to release the browser process as a separate library that the main one depends on, it has to be a DLL, but I don't know if I can start up a separate process from a DLL like that. Yeah, this just like loads the libsef DLL into the running process. This is the startup of it, which unfortunately the other processes aren't outputting any logs either, so like I don't see this starting browser process at all, because it's not even calling the CEF glue browser process, so that's kind of useless. There's this on port command line processing, which gets called from libsef side. And it calls it. I don't know why it's doing this. I can't remember where it does the startup stuff to... Oh, it's literally right here. Yeah, as you see, get entry assembly, which entry assembly is the EXE of the program that's currently running. And for some reason, even though obviously, like, process path, to set the process path here for it to use, which I currently have set to the browser process exe to at least try and get it to start up something other than more instances of the running program. Up here, yeah, you see I do browser process path, which you can either set, like if you're using the library in your own Unity project, you can set that path for like testing in just the player or something. So you can set that path to wherever you have the browser process path. Or if it's no, it'll set the path as current data path. So if you build it, and just set it back to empty and then build it and make sure that the browser process exe copies over to the right folder, and then it'll automatically set that as the browser process path for it to try and start up with. Which, if the file exists there, then that, but maybe it's not. Either it's not setting the process path correctly, or it's not being able to find it for some reason, because it's not being output to the right place, I guess. Let me check if so the program name data manage. Yeah, it's there. Do I have that? Do I have that path set right? Manage terms of the browser process. Yeah. It is set right. The exe is there. So I guess I can just insert a bunch of logs. Just insert a bunch of logs to check what it's actually doing here. That's all right line. So right process path. Hold up, right line. File. File exists. File dot exists. Process path. So then, tell me if it's getting into here. Which is just to be safe, I guess I can put these into brackets. And then, if it doesn't exist and it's not being set correctly for some reason, actually, yeah, I need this stop process path. I might as well log that for both of them, just to make sure which one is being set. Which, I mean, for some reason this isn't being called, or we would be seeing this log, which we're not seeing that log for some reason, which is kind of strange, but okay. Yes, we should see that be written, I guess. I guess I could log browser process path if that's... Probably should do a... no. Just so if it is null, it's not gonna crash the program or anything by trying to do a null reference or something. Just being safe, trying to avoid crashes while I'm testing this or something. And both succeeded, so that's wrong thing. You copy paste you into there. Wait for this to reload. And build. I gotta wait for it to build. And then I might have to copy the exe and manual. Well, I didn't change anything in the exe, so it should be fine. It should be fine without changing anything since I didn't rewrite anything in the exe. I should probably at least delete the... Where are you? There you are. At least delete the CEF log before I start that up. Boop. Annoying as fuck, but fine. And we close that back down, check CEF log. Everything's fine. Locale resources aren't loaded because there isn't a locale for Canadian English. Rude. At least not in this version, but whatever. Yeah, everything fine in CEF log. Close you both down. Player.log. And nothing for console logs again. Player previous log. Yeah, like Yippee! Oh my god. So why is nothing being logged here then? Why would nothing be logged? Is it because it's starting up multiple like that are all taking over the log from the main one? Would that be possible? I wonder if I could... Could I actually just... What is it? What if I just slap that in there so just force closes it down before the others start up and take over the log? Because I think it's like one of the other 5 instances that the head opens up that are taking over the log from the head. And then just writing their own logs in. And then the head doesn't get to write any of its logs to it. That might be what's happening, I guess. I guess we'll see if this works. If closing it down right away like that works to keep the other instances from starting up and taking over the logs, then you should actually finally see some of those console write lines. And build. Yum yums. So now, let's start you up again. Start browser. And it just closes right on down. Oh, it takes a minute to close down because there's something in CEF glue, I think, just gives it a minute for like the browser processes to close down properly, but there isn't any browser processes to close down anyways, but it still gives a minute for them to. But I think it did work though. It might have actually just completely frozen it, but... Close. Boop. Bye. And now... Well, there's no CEF log, but... Blank, blank, file exists, false, a blank. And then it just... use that. Well, at least that works for us to have proper logs again. But let's see about this here. So we're getting... So it's not null, it's just empty. It's not null, it's just an empty string. Because I do believe, yeah, because if it was null here, then we'd see browser process null on this first line. And of course it calls it with that empty string. Which then, obviously, there's going to be the same result of an empty string here. File exists false because there is no path that it's trying to check, which of course then it goes to that, and then wait, if file exists false, then it should go to here, and then it what? Assembly get entry assembly. So even after calling this, it still reports an empty string. So, why are you just reporting an empty string there? And of course, just being an empty string then causes it to just default to the currently running process, exe. Of course, with all the command line arguments, lang, English Canada, sandbox, log file sets, live, verbose logs, locales dir path, which does set correctly at least. And then feature disabling. So that shouldn't, none of those disable features should be doing anything. It's just this first part of it here where it's calling the currently running exe, causing multiple of them to start up like that. I'm not entirely sure. I think it might.
The ultimate vibe.
Not entirely sure why it's starting up 5 of them, then when closing it down, it closes 3 of those 5 down, leaves the other 2 still running. No idea why it's doing that, because from what I can tell, it should only be starting up one other instance of it, because the others would honestly be starting up with the UniWeb render script disabled, which then I'd have to hit the button to enable them for them to start up another process again. But pain. Web rendering in Unity hard. Alright, well at least I know that this, like, none of this is working right. And I need to implement some more checks than just a null check. But, yeah, I need to... Yes, is there... wasn't there a... I swear there was a function that was like empty or no, but okay. Presses path equal to null and can I use any on it? I can. Is he gonna complain about that? No, no. Not null and it has something in it, then return it, plus that. Null or empty. It's at least not complaining about use length equal to 0 or anything, so. Then I need you check to there. So you'll input that as well. And then, okay, so that, if file exists, so I also, no, I guess I can, I could test with just that, but just in case it, hold on, just in case it still can't find the right file path or something, and it does get into here, I'm just gonna at least throw some debug stuff in here. Convert serialize object assembly dot get entry assembly. That needs another bracket. There, so that will serialize it to, actually I probably should do, well I should do formatting indented just so I can read it a little better. Build that and hope that it is gonna work. No idea if this will work, but ideally it should. Wait for you to load. And build. And wait for it to build again. So now, close you and start you up. And start press process. And then it freezes. As expected. Their log. Yeah, we're good. Close. Bye. Alright, so now browser process path null or empty. Which then lets it into that. Which that should be the right one. still fucking doing that. So why is it using that path instead? For some reason it's still doing that process type. I really don't want to have to do a deep dive into the C++ side to figure out where it's coming from. Alright, let's see. This little bit I just have commented out because that deletes the previous CEF log, so it actually replaces the log instead of appending to the end of it. But just for testing with this, I'd kind of rather it append to it just in case it like logs something and then it restarts it and logs more, and I need to have all of the logs without it replacing. But anyways, so yeah, this is great. Is there an arg in this for... Yes, that would probably help, huh? Probably help if I actually set the browser process path there as well. Process path there, browser sub process path. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure browser sub process path is another argument in the list here after this, and this is what I need to be set. But we might as well test it, I guess. Screens of process path. Let's just see here if there's anything here that might need to be set. Update texture, shutdown, get runner, get load handler, off-screen load handler, just the client, school bars, yes, it doesn't really seem like any of that. Execute JavaScript, render handler. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like there's anything else to set in here for it. Anything else in set language list, background color, cache path? Well, I could set cache path to be the app data folder, which probably would be better. Right. Application persistent data path. Might as well have that set just so that it actually has the cache path set and CEF doesn't continue. Oh boy, it doesn't just continue complaining about that anymore. App icon ID, policy ID, runtime. Save Chrome runtime and CEF. No. Frags disabled, cookieable. External message. What is that? Schedule message pump work callback. Do message loop work function in case where the CEF message must be. I guess that could be good to have for Unity, because then I could call that message pump in update so that it actually goes at the same, so that it's actually processing at the same frame rate as Unity, in sync with Unity. So it does its message pump work. Actually, is it doing that in... No, it just starts a coroutine for it. Yeah, it just... Yeah, we just start a coroutine for it, but I think for Unity it might honestly be better to do that in update, or maybe even early update? Because on early update we can... Yeah, early update we can do message loop work, and then update after that's done we can do the update texture. And of course at the end of update then does the render, which would at least keep it in sync with Unity. I find that probably would be better. Loop good. Must be called set false, then CEF new message loop work function must be called from your application message loop. So yeah, that should be set for it to have false for it. Yeah. And this must be integrated into an existing message loop. Yep, that's exactly right. So let's go. Void update. So update, and is it early? Is it called early? I swear it's called early update. I'm just going to. I just gotta use this random CLI test file to test stuff actually in Unity to make sure that I'm doing things right. Is it early update? Oh, no, there's update and late update. but I don't think there's an early update. So yes, an in update and late update then. Okay. As long as that's not right. So update and late update then. Update. So then in update we'll call you, which actually I probably should have. Probably should have you in front of it. Then you to CEF line update texture. Boop. Yeah, so yeah, which summit should all be fine because it calls start and then actually so is it awake that's called when the scene loads first? Is it awake that's called first when scene loads, whether or not the script is enabled? And then start, I know start is called first before update when the script is enabled. So I guess awake is, awake I think is at least, at the very least is called before start, which is kind of needed because I have to set all of these things before trying to start it up. So it is kind of important that I make sure that's all called, but message pump, then I can get rid of that because then we'll be doing the message loop and web rendering in sync with Unity update. Which I know that could cause a decent drop in frame rate if it takes too long to do the message loop work or to render, which is probably why they had it as a coroutine to do that instead of in update, so that it was going alongside everything else to not massively tank frame rates by doing that in update on main thread, but we'll see. We'll see how that runs being in sync with Unity, I guess. maybe I could do some... Maybe I'd be able to do some check of what the frame rate is set at, and if the game frame rate is only running at, is only like set to something like 60, then do it in update, or if it's yeah, or if it's like much higher than 60, like for something like VR, like 90 or higher, then it'll do it as a coroutine to keep things smooth and stable for the VR that's running. I don't know, we'll see how that runs, I guess. I'll do a bunch of testing and revert it back to a coroutine if it kind of tanks performance a lot too much on VR usage. So cache path is set. Should this external message pop, or does this one function as message or function as we call an application message loop? Linux. Thread message from scheduling through schedule message pump work callback. Combination with CEF, do a message with one function is rare. I mean, if at startup I can get like what the frame rate is supposed to be set to, then do it in a coroutine if higher than a threshold, or do it in update to keep in sync if lower than a threshold. But then if it's set to supposed to be much higher and done in a coroutine, and then the frame rate ends up much lower, and then the browser process starts tanking performance even at that lower frame rate because it's still going at a higher frame rate. Or if it's supposed to be set to a lower frame rate and then it runs at a much higher frame rate, then causes instability and tanks performance some by going at way too high a frame rate. But I don't know. I don't know. So macOS 1, JavaScript flags, main bundle path. That's macOS thing again. Pack loading. Disable loading of pack files for resources and locales. Resource bundle has to be provided for the browser in order to process. Loading of pack files is disabled. Yeah, a resource bundle handler must be provided if it's disabled, though. So I think I'd rather just make sure that all the pack files are in the right place than have to do a bunch of whatever that is. Assist user preferences. Cookies. Using global cookie manager satisfied. Well, I do have a cache path set to do that, so I guess persist user preferences would probably be good too. Alright, debugging part, resources, new path. Pack files, okay, watch directory. Isn't that what? Huh? As for the locales directory. It's not empty. Oh, wait. So the okay. So the all the locales pack files are considered separate from the other resources pack files. Okay. So does the locales path have to be? Does the locales path have to be all the way into the locales folder? Because currently I have that locales path set to where all the other resource pack files are. Which that might not be, or it might need to be all the way into the locales folder. I'll set that to locales and then see if it stops complaining about a whole bunch of locales not loading. I guess. I suppose I could set that to make sure that it stops complaining, but... So then, I guess... Resources dir path should probably also be set. Resources path. Then we also go copy you. Resources path, which then I can remove that from. And now resources path. hash path. 30. Hash path. Yeah, that's fine then. Okay, exception, stack size, user agent. Okay, well, there's nothing I can really nothing else I can really set in there to change how it's functioning, I guess. I don't think there's anything else I can set. I don't think there's anything else I can set in this one here either. Status bubbles, bubble, uses, encoding, font size, image loading, remote fonts, yeah, nothing I can set in there for it. Which I do have the Windows frame rate set to limit to 30. Even though with this it's actually gonna run at the frame rate the rest of Unity is running, but just as a backup, just in case, I have it set to limit it to 30, so it just kind of runs at a little bit over here, since, you know, the browser process doesn't really need to run at a much higher frame rate than that. 30 is probably usually fine for that. Oh god, shush. Infos of client settings to extra info request context. Which was me self client. Yeah, there's nothing really to set for that. CEF runtime initialize. Which CEF main works. Block. Windows module handle. I don't think there's anything in here that would be setting that.
The number you are trying to reach has been disconnected.
Is there anything that would be setting that? CEF works, native Windows, Windows, all instance, get module handle. Page global. No, it doesn't really have anything in it worth checking. The module handle, yeah, it's just calls out to kernel. Yeah, well, that just calls it out. There's not really anything in there that I could do then. Self runtime execute process. Would something in here? Ours to native. Would there be something in this execute process that's doing something? Something in this execute process. Well, it goes into the C++ side, so if there is something in that it's doing, then there's nothing I can do about it. Oh gosh. Yeah, well, I don't really see where there's anything that I could even do for it. Oh, bool transparent. That should be true, though. Bool transparent should be true. Yeah, I don't know. There really isn't much of anything that I can see that would actually do anything unless I look deep into the C++ side and try and follow the code path through all of that. Yeah. As I look deep into the C++ side and try and follow the code path through all of that, either forward from all of this or backwards from this to figure out where process type is coming from. Which, so like process type, working back from here to find where process type is coming from is probably better. Because if I can trace it through the C++ side back over to the C# side, and it is something I haven't found yet on the C# side that's setting it wrong, then I can do something about it. But if I trace it back into the C++ side and it's somewhere in the C++ side that's getting it wrong, there's nothing I can really do about that because libcef is pre-compiled already. I'm just looking into the C++ side to see how it works to do the C# side. So ultimately depends, I guess it ultimately depends on where this process type is even coming from. Obviously it's yeah, so obviously it's coming from here. CEF string, yeah, so process type is coming from this on before command line processing, which, of course, delegates out. Yeah, which obviously delegates out from CEF, out from libcef. So, one for command line processing. Let's go libcef search. Like nothing from okay. Okay. Before command line processing. Oops. Senior experience. Ineffective and not unified API like using CEF. Seen yet? Object wrappers. Blah blah blah. Not really too important helping, but on before command line processing has no results. So then where would it be? So where would it be coming from then? If there's no results on that side. C++ side fun. Location. No, all just includes. All just includes. Nah. Well, that's fine. It's all just it includes fun. Just select a random one of these so I can go to here, zap. Well, there's something. So search for this one. See if it has a proper definition. There's a CEF test. There's one that has app and command line. I need string process type. I think this one is a proper definition of it. Process type empty. If screen rendering enabled, shared texture enabled. Disable GPU compositing. If switch use views. Blah blah. Use mock keychain. This timeline. What is that? That's just voice. That's basically just so we can append things to it, really. As if Linux, then, which we're not running on Linux right now, and it'd be a little bit annoying for me to test on Linux, because then I have to reboot my laptop and such, and yeah, not really too great right now for that, but it's still being passed in from somewhere else, though. Let's see this here and see where this process type is coming from here instead. So let's see. Where are you coming from? Enable state. Disable features. Path. Line. Or file path. Nothing there. Nothing there. Log severity. Log file, okay. User agent stuff. File path. No sandbox. Or file path. Process type. Switches K process type. Process type empty. Settings. Linux disabled. Nah, I'm at. So
Loading. Level 1.
Yeah, so process type get from? Okay, process type here. So where does switches come from? I guess I could just search. Okay, process type. As okay, process type. Promotion will be used for the browser process. Should never save. In-app promotion will be used for. Okay, that's probably not what we need. Literature, what's this? Browser process. Process fill out in. Doesn't have that. Probably not what we need at the moment. Crash repair, clean. Probably not. It's a patch. And then we'll get type. Switch these, what gets it from there. All I'm seeing is places where it gets process type. And there's which value. I'm not really seeing anywhere that it is defined or anything.
Hey, look, I don't mean to be cruel. I don't know that well, and I feel like a tool, but I have a feeling deep inside of my gut, and I need some help to escape this rut. You see, I wish you'd join me for a trip. We could go for contact
Right there.
my crazy rocket ship. I don't know
Right there. Okay, process type is type. Flags must match. Okay, so okay, process type is type. It doesn't now switch return process. And so it does. It is a render process, return render process. Let's return other process. So I might have to, maybe somewhere that I have to set type and renderer. Get switch value. Where are you defined? Yeah, switch value. Value verified random string.
shark with a million teeth and a million eyes, and also the shark has legs.
That's what you know.
Say I'm sorry, I was late for the
Okay.
date. Honey, don't make me beg and plead. What do you
Cost value.
say? I'm not sure if I
Let's see, where might you be defined here?
I don't have a clue which way is up, but I know I can feel if I follow that rhythm.
C++ hard.
The voices guide my shallow light affection, space divine, and yet I don't know.
Okay, so I guess
Just too strange, I can't find a way. Why do I know you don't know? I do.
setting at least type maybe on that, which should be there's an add those serves of client. Yeah, so append switch is probably what I need to do. So CEF command line, I don't think there's anywhere that I can, I don't think there's anywhere that I can set that from here. CEF settings, browser host, client, CEF command line. You're kind of referenced all over the place, but okay. Program part of the command line string. Set the program part of the command line string. The first item. Would you look at that? Set program. Well, would you look at that? There's a set program right there. That might be useful. So, can I set program then, maybe?
Don't have a clue what I need to do to get by, but I need you more than ever now. Your voice is all my woes.
So, where can I even set that though? So where would, what other things have references? Append switch has some references. Browser CEF app, browser process handler. Frame scheduling, custom scene, current process, register path. So probably not really more useful for you. Browser CEF app. Processed would be if is nowhere empty. So what does no cipher do? And that's I heard F on 1x, so that doesn't really matter anyways, but there's gotta be somewhere that I can set this at, right? CEF browser CEF app. I mean that kinda sets it already. Well, it's on before command line processing, so that's like to report and change stuff before the command line gets processed and executed, right? So I guess changing things in that could work. Or maybe handle before process launch? Could that work? Sounds like there might be a few places. CEF runtime launch process. Or maybe maybe in CEF app. That's just for on command before command line processing. So maybe this one in here. And then CEF launch process. There's no references though. So if that doesn't have any references, then alright, so where do we go from? So where do we go from here though? With CEF Margs, off-screen CEF app, CEF runtime execute process, maybe. Does this path? No, that just sets stuff. Execute process. Says execute process is that one's launch process. So that one down there is launch process. Would launch process maybe be better, or close CEF parser though. Because here's initialize. Yeah, to initialize down here. Which would there be anything to do? Actually, can I add it to these? Can I add it to this CEF main arcs? Could that work? Could that work? Let's type. So, command append switch value. Append switch with value. I really don't, but check. These laws are probably is it a ball dash that's needed there. Then we can do and then path I'll combine, and I'm gonna just put you in. Are you combining? Right, because you use a yeah. Just enclosing you fixes that.
I don't want reasons, don't need to know why, because these people always pushing their tank.
Maybe?
I'm not here to seek a
I
sign
have
mind. I don't
no idea.
cause I'm all out of time. Don't pass me your phone if you do. I'ma break it, we just need a little time to sniff out all the pages of this dark, dark script that God said he was writing. I don't know where you need me to go. Pass me your phone if you do. I'ma break it, we just need a little time to sniff out all the pages of this dark, dark script that God said he was writing. I don't know where you need me to go. Drop, stop, there's a melody head, and he's playing me dead. I don't know where the voices stop. Drop, stop, there's a melody head. He's got me frozen with dread, and I don't know where he's gone. Drop, stop, there's a melody head, and he's playing me dead. I don't know where the voices stop. Drop, stop, there's a
Wait
melody
for that to load.
The third eye's open, but I still don't know why. I'm not a freak, I'm just distracted from the things that I try. I'm just so sick of feeling like a puppet tied to a string. But I know that you can't help, I'm alone with everything. Don't pass me your phone if you do. I'ma break it, we just need a little time to sniff out all the pages of this dark, dark script that God said he was writing. I don't know where you need me to go. Pass me your phone if you do. I'ma break it, we just need a little time to sniff out all the pages of this dark, dark script that God said he was writing. I don't know where you need me to go. I don't want reasons.
So now let's go to just clear those logs out. Look under and boop. And now clear log. Still no. Okay. That's obviously not there that I can insert it. Call from the application entry function to execute a process. Run save process from browser client executable default in a separate executable specified by process path value. Browser process identified by no type command line value. Specified by SST browser subprocess path value.
about the dark places you hide.
Mm.
Tell me all your sweet, sweet little lies.
Well, browser sub-process path is being set down here. Should that execute process actually be down below the initialize, maybe? So that it's actually set first. Wonder if I wonder if this execute process should actually be below that. Cause yeah, execute process initialize. Is that execute? Hold on. It's like that execute process is called up there, then it does all of the initialization stuff and all the setting up of things. Then create browser. Maybe in her. Wonder if this should actually put it down here after initialize. Maybe? I don't know. Okay. Nice. Copy you in it. Log. Wait for you to load. And build. And let's run you. Start. So that freezes. Player log. Not still there. Alright, I'm going to let's go with append switch type process path. This depends which type process path. If that's gonna do anything for it, I don't know, but let's get rid of that and build. Copy you over. Build again. Bleh. Build. And then now does not log. Start you. Start browser, and it crashes. Well, at least that's something different. Log error loading. Start snapshot file. Okay. Error log. So that, and then it crashes, which that's kind of expected now. So let's put you back up here. So maybe switching you around messed something up. Maybe. Those logs. You copy you over. Ready, build. Wait for you to load. Just building and rebuilding, because when it crashes like that due to something in libcef crashing, if I were to just hit play in the editor to test it and it crashed like that, it would like fully crash the editor, which is more annoying than having to build and rebuild to test. It's more annoying to have to reopen the editor anytime it crashes like that, so it's easier to just build and rebuild and test like this then. Okay, so that does that. Let's check something, CEF log, same thing there. So then that is pen switch type causing that. Which that means it actually is working. So then that actually means it is working. It's calling the CEF log is actually from this browser process one. I suppose, perhaps. Yeah, I'm guessing that's from that. We're loading startup file. So that need then. Does that actually mean those files have to be in here instead? Or does that mean they have to be in here? I'm gonna try with them in either place, but not sure which one it is that they need to be. Let's try putting it in both of those, then leading up render, and story browser. It closed, and I didn't see an error screen, but it closed. Okay. There's a dictionaries folder in the app data folder now, which it's never done that before. Cannot load. Okay, so I couldn't load those, so it probably was a... No, it just exited. We might actually be getting closer. We might actually be getting closer. Okay. So I think that means I have to copy. See these pack.dat files, locales. Copy you into here instead. And then wipe that. Run you again. And then it still crashed. Okay. So then what is it? Still not okay. So could not load those, even though those are both in both places. So let's see. Here, render data. Locales, power, yeah, plugins, 664 locales, disorders, the register path is set right there. Let me try. Locales and resources path. Disable. I'm gonna disable both of those. Rebuild. Copy you over. Which. Let me try just copying those in directly instead of having to do a full rebuild. Theoretically, I should be able to just copy those in directly without having to fully rebuild it, since it basically just copies the DLL file over. And wipe those out again. Okay, still going to. Okay. Arrow log, still the same thing. Dictionaries, still empty. Okay. So, then I will try. Maybe those have to be right up top level? I really hope they don't have to be right up top level, because that's going to be real fucking difficult. Nope. Okay. Where do you have to be? It's still not working. Why? Where do you have to be placed at to work then? Wouldn't be the... Well, wouldn't be the upload folder, would it? Would be the upload folder? No, it wouldn't be the upload folder. Would it be the upload folder? Where is that though anyways? So the current domain is the base directory. The base directory is approved for assemblies. And it's going up a folder from there. So to me that would be there. Would that be? Would that be there? Huh? No? No. CEF log. Still no. No. So... Not really much else place that I can put these. There's not much else places where these can go at all. So if that's base directory of the assembly resolver, uses to prog for assemblies, and it's going up a folder. Here? So, yeah, would I go up against? To be there? It's like the last and only place that could be. No? No. Where are you supposed to be? No. What the fuck? Alright, so the places that base directory I'm thinking could be would be managed, which would be like the program name underscore data managed, which is where all of like the C# DLLs are, including the browser process exe. Those pack files are in there, and that didn't work. Up a folder, like up one from there would be a program name underscore data folder, which they're in there. They're in there. That didn't work. I tried plugins x8664, which I already had them in there to start out with the first time, because libcef maybe it would load them from next to itself if this browser process is calling upon libcef, but I don't know. Then one up from there would be program name underscore data plugins. They're in there, which I put them in there for the last attempt, which that didn't work. Which this is same for assembly loading, but yeah. Then I tried CEF, maybe just program name underscore data. One up from there would be just the base directory of the program entirely, which that didn't work, so really the last and only place that would be one up from somewhere possible would be the project folder, which would be one up from that entirely. And no. I don't know then. I don't know where you want it from. Get you out of there. Because you wouldn't be asking for it from... You wouldn't be asking for it from the app data folder, would you? Would you be asking for it from app data? I swear if it's searching app data for it for some reason. No. No, okay, good. So that would be kind of weird, but it's all the same there. Okay. This is fucking annoying, trying to figure out where it's asking for that from. It did work, but it did work before, and now it's not. I don't know why. I had that, which then at least kept it from crashing by putting it into here to load it from. Oh my god. just initialize create browser without calling execute process at all. What if I just do this? Will this work? I don't know. Let's, I guess, see if this will work. No, no, Catalog. Could not load those. Player log. Still calling that. So that execute process is that just like totally useless then? Execute secondary process. I don't know. Is that execute process just totally useless? Because it commenting it out didn't do anything? I'm guessing the execute process was just useless then? Because commenting it out did nothing? I'm gonna build, copy you over to here, then actually do a full build from Unity to make sure of this. Build, and then close you and you should get rid of those. Still no, though. Nope. Just to test and see, let's get rid of that. Clear those logs. Copy you directly into here. Now you should open multiple instances of the same program again. Or one instance will crash and start up another. Jet. Is that the... Yeah, that's same one. So I couldn't load those when it set stuff and then just closed down. Huh? I think it like went to start up another instance, it crashed, generated a crash log, and then this second instance that it started up just overrode it, just chopping off the top part of it, which I kind of need some amount of the top part of it here. Luckily, I can go to crashes. You should be a full one, unless you were chopped off before it could copy it. This is fun. Crash dump? Maybe it might be a little bit more full. Next. Was loaded. Why is this maybe? Let's see. There's not really a whole lot that's being too useful to me. Not really a lot that I can understand on there, and it just kind of crashes here with that, so close you down. And add that environment exit back. I don't know though, because what? What I need to do is like maybe be able to get the player log from like right when it crashes before the second instance starts up and overwrites it. Which actually I don't think that's really gonna help. Because really, yeah, what I need to Start you, player log. Oh. It's like right away that it starts overwriting it. There's no chance. Oh? Oh, huh? Wait, what? What? Okay. I am so confused now. What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna test this again. Hello, yeah, whatever. That's player log. Start player log. Just cut off. And it just gets right cut off like that. CEF log. Just gonna cut off like that. Shader cache gets written though. So now we have another folder being written to AppData, which is shader cache, which does have a couple files in it. Okay, but it goes down and overwrites into that. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to capture that. I'm just not sure I can really capture that fast enough. No. Because it's like, it's instant. As soon as it crashes, the next one is started up, overwriting the file. There's really not much chance to get over to player log before it can. Maybe if I can kind of put it over a bit to have like less distance to travel. Up, oh there. Oh, nope. I'd be able to just is that down right away, or is that not overwrites it? I'm not gonna be able to capture an error report from it. Nope. Not gonna be able to capture the crash from it, I guess. Yeah, because the only thing Unity reports are connecting to it and no reference exceptions. It doesn't capture the crashes from it either at all. I don't know. Execute process, as far as I can tell, is kinda useless. What is the process specified by command line? Must be called on. Would launch process be a better thing to call? It's like, I don't know. Is it where? Actually, is it capturing from the first place? Like, where is it in initialize, or is it in create browser that it's trying to start the other thing up? I'm guessing create browser. Browser process block option extra Should I even be on click browser maybe? Yeah, to initialize the CEF browser process. Let's say create browser. And then it calls create browser on you. And what do you do here? You call execute process. So yeah, I shouldn't been calling execute process. I'm so confused. Oh God. I feel like I have to look into some other things that use CEF and see how those other things use it. because like yeah, because like all of this here in Start CEF is from a Unity CEF example project that I found. Obviously that used a much older version of CEF glue that was pre-compiled. So obviously some number of things have changed since that, kind of outdating a lot of this way of starting things up on the same process, or within the same program without opening up something else. And that example project also doesn't even work properly anyways. There's some things wrong with it, I think, or something, but yeah, that project doesn't work properly either. So I guess I probably shouldn't really be completely trying to get my stuff to work on a project that also doesn't quite work properly. I feel like I am really close to getting this library working. It's just these kinds of issues of getting it to open up in the right way and like actually start the browser process in the right way is what's kind of stuck. So yes, looking at some other things that use CEF, like maybe Castro Labs. Yeah, maybe, because I think OBS uses CEF for its browser sources, right? Not sure. Does OBS use CEF for its browser sources? Because I think OBS does. And I think the chat overlay here, I think that uses, or does that use WebView? No, I think the overlay might use, I think the overlay might use WebView because it doesn't need to render off screen, it just renders directly to the screen. Yeah, I think I have to look into some other projects, some other things that use CEF, see how they use it. Maybe. Yeah. God, I don't know. CEF is a pain in the ass to work with. Such an absolute pain in the ass to work with here. Yeah, it was And I think, but yeah, Castro Labs is moving over to WebView because it doesn't need to render things off screen or anything, and WebView is apparently a lot nicer and easier to use. And I think I would rather use that, but WebView doesn't yet support off-screen rendering, which is like rendering to a texture or something, like rendering to anything other than the screen. So maybe if the functionality is later added to WebView 2, I guess, yeah, if the functionality is later added to WebView 2 for off-screen rendering, I could look into using that instead, because that is, again, supposed to be a lot easier and nicer to use. But unfortunately, right now I'm kinda stuck on CEF, because it actually supports off-screen rendering, which I kinda need to be able to render it to a texture to put it up on a panel in Unity. So, like, unless I wanted to do a whole bunch of extremely complicated math and such to render it directly to the screen based on like positions and such. God, that would be such a fucking pain though. This is like, I mean, technically, theoretically, I could use WebView 2 and maybe be able to do some kind of stuff with it. Like where it would render directly to the screen, but using like offsets and transforms derived from the camera and the panel that it's trying to render to. I kind of fit it, like kind of fit it into the render pipeline. But god, that would be so much work that I have absolutely no idea how to do. So I feel like I would have to kind of fit it into the render pipeline at a certain stage to be able to render it like directly to the screen with the kinds of transforms that it's supposed to be rendering to and all that. God. A whole bunch of extremely complex math and programming to do that, though. Yeah, but unless I feel like doing all of that extremely complex math and shit, which I very much do not, I'm stuck with dealing with all the bullshit of CEF, which includes looking through other projects, I guess. Let me see if there's still a look into the caffeinated a little bit here.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Me too.
Stuff. Cleaned up.
Oh, Mr. Ocean Fish, drift away, drift away. And below the shining rays, you swim so slowly. Your life seems so carefree, floating through
Let's see if
feeling happy all alone.
So yeah, Caffeinated does use WebView 2 now.
Oh, Mr. Ocean Fish, drift away, drift away.
But did use Chromium at some point, so some version back would be one I need to go to. Which the version was
Good morning, Mr. Sunfish. Please teach me all your ways. How to live without a wish. How to swim away my days. Good morning, Mr. Sunfish. 'Cause although you seem gray, I know that you can flourish in the sea where you'll decay.
Yes, if I look back at like an older version of the code base for Caffeinated when it was still using CEF, then I could see how Caffeinated was. Let's see, I think the chat overlay app also uses WebView 2. I'm checking if it does right now here. Yeah, it uses WebView 2. Okay. There is a fork of CEF with OBS specific patches. So yes, OBS does use CEF, which makes sense because the browser resources have to be rendered off screen and rendered together into a stream output. It can't really do that rendering only being able to render to the screen, so it makes sense that OBS would use CEF. Yeah, so honestly, though it seems it does kind of seem though that because OBS is done in C and C++ that it like directly integrates libsef instead of calling upon a pre-compiled library of it. Possibly? Unless it... they just have the fork with OBS specific patches and then they compile it to libsef and then use it in a similar way. Maybe. It'll all be stuff to look into kind of later though, because that would take going rather in deep to other projects that use CEF or have used CEF in the case of Castro Labs Caffeinated, but yeah. So so I'm not entirely sure if this, like, really any of this is even being done right in the first place. Because maybe I could look into this. Maybe I could look into this browser process one here a bit. Because I think, actually, you know what? I think this browser process one is just for if you do want like a fully separate exe to handle the browser process instead of integrating it into your kind of main program process, then you can just call upon the CEF browser process as a separate thing. Which that would also mean that it calls upon the right things and does the right things to start up libsef and actually start up a proper browser process. Which I guess should actually mean that I should be able to look at how this CEF browser process works to get a proper updated version of how to run things. I might actually feel how did I not think of it before? Well, I gotta go for a second, but
was the party last week? I'm sorry that I couldn't make it. Don't worry, it's not anything deep. I was feeling kinda reckless in the nights I couldn't sleep. 'Cause everything seems normal, there's nothing to it though. And now I feel the face I show the world, they all seem so slow. Everything seems normal, no need to be upset. Don't concern yourself with my unhappiness, 'cause I'm sure it's normal to lose interest in life and to wish you never cried. Isn't that what you call normal? There is nothing I want. The only reason I went on is 'cause you'll feel regretful if I died. I've written 3 set-aside notes, 8 attempts without any results. But why should my stories be told? They all seem too ordinary to me. 'Cause everything seems normal, there's nothing to it though.
Back. Alright. So you know what? I think I should actually be able to look into how this browser process works to be able to get a better feel for how to actually get things to work correctly. Because I bet probably even this off-screen CEF client, which is also from the example project that I found, which is obviously outdated. So I think probably like a lot of this entire file is probably rather outdated and not working right, or not how things should be done currently for getting this to work. And then of course like a good chunk of this, like probably all of this start CEF function probably isn't right. Yeah. A whole lot of this probably isn't right at all, but I've just kind of been trying to go along with it, and anyways, yeah. How did I not think of like actually just looking through how this CEF glue browser process works? How did I not think of that? Cause like it seems like that would be obvious, right? Like CEF glue browser process, it starts up a CEF browser process. Why wouldn't I look into that to see how it starts up a browser process so that I can start up a browser process in my own code? Fucking hell. God damn it. Well, let's look and see how this thing works. Obviously, string browser process. Okay, so we obviously load libcef, which I think because it's part of the plugins, it does get loaded, so I don't think it has to be manually loaded like this. I don't think I have to load it like this. I think Unity does load it And then with it being a library for the Beat Saber mod, it'll also be loaded by the mod loader as a library. So I don't think I have to load it manually at all for Unity stuff. So unless load does some special stuff to it that Unity doesn't, then I probably don't actually need to. The library path combine. Load library. Search path. Load libraries. Yeah, it's literally just loading it from kernel, so I'm betting I probably don't even need to load it manually, because Unity is going to load it as a native plugin, and for the Beat Saber mod, the mod loader is going to load it as a library, so it probably doesn't need to be manually loaded at all, because literally all that's doing is just calling a kernel function to load it, which Unity has already done by the time we get to this. Anyways, that's yeah, that's just so that it will. Happy bit late for supper then. Yeah, that's just so that the CEF glue browser process can monitor the process that started it up, so that it can close down when its parent process starts, or closes down, I mean. Wait. Install and load. So what is... So that's still not needed at all, because that installs the lib loader, and then that loads it. Which, honestly, again, it's not at all needed, so I'll skip that. I can basically just skip all of this initial part, because it's not going to be a process called by another process. It's just going to be within this, it's just going to be another thread within the same process, so none of that's needed. Custom seams. Probably don't need that. Common value. So, let's see. Here's browser process. Cat, parts to play. So then it literally just calls execute process and just render CEF app. So that's literally all it does when it starts up. It just calls execute process. That's certainly a lot simpler than all of that stuff. So, yeah, that is a lot simpler, huh? So I do want to keep a lot of these settings, like cache path and the log path, just so that I can keep it logging in the same place and it caches to a right app data folder and all that. And being able to keep the locale settings so that stuff can be in the right language for you will also be decent. And verbose logging, windowless rendering, all that, keeping all that, which actually I I'm gonna throw an environment exit on that, rebuild it. I can at least capture what args are being thrown at it. I guess I could probably also clean up all of these pack files I've thrown all over the place. So probably don't need them in here. I guess I can copy you into there for in a minute when I clean these up. Don't need any of you there. I do need you in there for it. So I at least do need you in there. Where else did I throw you all over the place at? Don't need you anywhere here. Okay, that's all cleaned up at least. So we can go you, hit you, you'll give me that, and then you can just bay. Okay, so now in this player log, all of these and probably minus the type and all that, lang, log file, log severity, nothing for the cache path, though. I'm sure that's fine. So, args. Args. Are you there? Probably don't need you. Probably don't need application, do I? So, yeah, you just call execute process. You have all those args. Sandbox info is just pointer 0, which it already is. That's fine. So probably none of that. Probably none of this file is needed. Great. Now it's just the args. Then the custom schemes. Okay. So let's set schema name, small domain name, first house. Scheme of each is a standard scheme. I don't think there's any custom scheme stuff in. Is there? Custom box, image, file, severity, disable features, type. So there's nothing. There isn't anything custom scheme going on, I guess. So. Yeah, they're just calling new custom scheme. It's probably fine. That's in. Oh, just going to custom. Okay, that's fine. That's already in here. Yep. Okay. Actually, renderer CEF app is right there. Fucking blind. It's right there. Yeah, so that just takes from that, which is already down included there. CEF, render process handler, which is another already included thing in the main lib stuff. Yeah, so render process handler. So is it really? Can we just show up and then? Then how do I... So if that's all that does is just execute process on this renderer CEF app, then how do I actually like... Yeah, then how do I actually like do off-screen rendering to copy textures over like that? Because I need something like that for the pixel buffer. Well, the on paint will copy it to the pixel buffer for me to take it from. If I have an on paint function like that, but yeah, render process handler on okay, initialized on browser created, on browser destroyed. Okay, load handler on context created, on context released, on exception. Focus node change, process message received. Using this one would be better one. If release has one math, release one, two native, check self. Release has one. Initialized. Just created. I mean, like, that's... It really is literally all it does, though. It just gets the render process handler.
Don't say goodbye to friends and family. Convince yourself that they'll forget. Don't write a note telling them why you're gone.
Which...
Guess that'll just make you upset.
Oh, that actually is in there.
Do some charity.
Yeah,
Pretend like you're worth less than them. And after you've thrown all of your
CEF, render process handler. Oh, it inherits from it. Take care of XREF. Okay. Maybe I should have actually been checking the constructor that it was calling instead of just assuming it was the same thing, because honestly, it's not. It's CEF render process handler and render process handler, so obviously it's not actually the same one. It's an extension of it, of course it is. So what does this one have for stuff? Message dispatcher, execution engine, hash pipe name, browser, handle exception, on handle exception. So on the kid initialized, got a new JavaScript execution engine and JavaScript and native. On process message received. Start triggering dispatch message. On context created. Start tracking. On context created. Message. Will send process message. Context released. On code exception. Okay. Browser created. We'll grab the browser. Error handling, handle exception. Some exception of parent process. Okay. Still doesn't have anything like on paint. Yeah, still doesn't have anything like on paint. It's a CEF render handler, CEF render process handler. So is on paint in CEF render handler or CEF browser or CEF render process handler. Context wrapper of whyyyy. So enter fill for context. Okay. I mean, if that's needed, oh my god. Oh, this is fun looking into all this stuff. Right? And there's a parent process monitor, native lib loader I don't need. I guess those I have. That's probably important. Well, I guess, yeah, it is important because it needs this, which needs that, so. Process message. Start message handler, object binding. Some JavaScript for something, I don't know. JavaScript helper. Guess this like inject that in, or my god, this is a lot, but I have no idea what any of it's actually doing, but okay. Check arguments, very task, resulting promise, get string value, current context, promise, bind, continue with. Like, does any of this actually have something for rendering it? Or, no. I guess there is also an off-screen part and an off-screen example that come with CEF glue that I should probably also be looking into more to see how that part of it does stuff, you know? obviously this sounds a lot of actual browser process stuff and like a lot of the JavaScript stuff, but honestly not much actually rendering here though. Execute. Yeah, so it honestly doesn't really do a whole lot here. So we got the render processor here. It kind of had some JavaScript stuff. CEF object tracker. Yes. And there's some stuff that might be useful, but there really isn't much that I can actually find that's decently useful and all that. So, well, I'm gonna try and actually make sure that my Quest stays properly charged as it's supposed to, so don't end up missing actually playing Beat Saber. Though I might actually participate in the extrasensory 2 stuff that's going to be going on, because I think that the extrasensory 2 event actually starts like right at stream time Saturday. So instead of Satisfactory Saturday, which I honestly still don't really have much of a plan of what even to do in Satisfactory, but instead of Satisfactory Saturday, it'll be a Beat Saber Saturday doing extrasensory 2 stuff. But as of today, that is all from me. I will continue looking into stuff on this and try and figure out how to get it properly working. But well, let's see who should go raid. Ivy's on. Well, we can go raid Ivy. Alright, let's go raid. Let's go. Yeah, so continue working on this lib, hopefully actually get it done and working, and then I can actually make the Beat Saber mod that uses it, but yeah.